You know, growing up, I really didn't comprehend the difference between being rich versus wealthy, right? I mean, if I saw someone who was driving around with a nice Lamborghini and pulling into a mansion with a rollie on their wrist and some nice clothes, then I would immediately think to myself that, man, he or she must be rich and wealthy. But now that I'm a little bit older and I've accumulated my own wealth, I have learned that wealth isn't really something that you can see, right? Like you can't really look at someone and say, that person is wealthy. Yet so many people that I know still think they can because they just don't get it. So what I want to do in this video is really break down what it means to be rich versus wealthy. And trust me, you'd rather be wealthy than rich. Stay tuned. Hey there and welcome to our channel. I'm Sean with Life Accounting, the accounting company that helps you save on taxes and build more wealth. Before we dive in today, I'm curious, what do you think the difference is between being wealthy versus being rich? Tell me in the comment section below. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with number one. What does it mean to be rich? So the most accurate definition of being rich is to have an abundance of something. So when it comes to money, it's simple, okay? It means that you have a lot of income or you have a lot of cash. Hey, Sean, look, I can make it rain. Okay, yeah, that's literally what some rich people actually do. So let's define a lot. Well, according to the Economic Policy Institute in 2019, you need to earn at least $421,926. And today, that's probably about $500,000 to be considered in the 1% of people. However, it is important to note that that income level varies greatly depending on the state and the age that you are currently at. So let's just go with earning $500,000 a year makes you rich. Okay, but here's the thing. Being rich doesn't mean you have a high net worth. In fact, you could be rich, but you could also be in debt, meaning that, like, hypothetically, of course, that even if you make $500,000 a year, you could owe someone else $600,000 a year, right? And the truth is that many people who have no financial education and become rich end up spending a lot more than what they actually earn. And there's actually a statistic that over 80% of NFL players go broke. They actually go broke. And of course, you hear about other people like celebrities, athletes, rappers often going broke as well. And they have it especially hard because, well, their image is their asset. So what they do is they go out and they have to appear to be rich. They buy all the fancy clothes, the cars, the houses, etc. And what they end up doing is spending money faster than what they're actually bringing in, okay? Or they, even worse, make a poor financial investment. But this won't be you. So keep watching and I'll share with you some of the best ways to become rich and protect your wealth. But first, let's talk about number two. What does it mean to be wealthy? So the definition of wealth is to have a great deal of money, resources, or other assets. So very similar definition to being rich. However, there is a key difference, okay? Remember, being rich is about having an abundance of something, but you could still be in debt even though you have an abundance of cash, thus making you broke. Well, wealth is defined as having a great deal of money, thus making you rich is specific to money. So while not all rich people are wealthy, all wealthy people are rich. And people who are wealthy control and manage money in order to sustain whatever lifestyle they currently have. So they spend less than what they earn and can sustain that in perpetuity. And that is why you see wealthy people focus on generating passive income that exceeds their expenses. Because think about it, if your earned income drops, like anything could happen, right? You could lose your job, you could become disabled, or you could go through a really big, serious lawsuit. And then essentially your wealth would evaporate because you are no longer able to exceed your expenses with your income. So in order to protect any losses from their earned income, wealthy people try to figure out a way to get passive income to protect themselves. So let's do a side-by-side comparison with number three, rich versus wealth. So people who fit in the rich category are usually people who generate a lot of income, spend a lot of their income buying depreciating assets, and then showing off to others how much money they have. Whereas people who fit in the wealth category are usually people who also generate a lot of income, invest a lot of income buying cash flowing, producing assets, and value time over showing off. Time to do whatever they want to do, right? Such as spending time with family or embarking on new adventures and traveling to new places or learning new skills, pretty much valuing the time to do whatever they want. Okay, so should you strive to be rich or wealthy? Well, both if you like to, right? Like you can be both rich and wealthy. And I think it's okay to splurge and have over the top things as long as it does not implode on your ability to sustain your wealth. So then let's move into number 4, how to become rich and wealthy. So of course, there are several different paths to becoming rich. Maybe you are super talented and you make it being a musician, an athlete, or some type of actor. Or maybe you go to school, you get a great education, and you make really good pay as an engineer, as a doctor, as a lawyer, as an accountant, etc. But here's something that you may not have already known, okay? 66% of millionaires own their own business. That's right, and important enough for me to say again, okay? 66% of millionaires have their own business. And in my opinion, it is definitely one of the best ways to become rich and possibly even wealthy, because a business could pay you for the rest of your life. And of course, there is no ceiling on your income. In fact, when you think about it, the super rich people of the world own businesses, right? Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, Elon Musk owns Tesla and SpaceX, Mark Zuckerberg owns Meta, Bill Gates owns Microsoft, and Warren Buffett owns Berkshire Hathaway. Now, of course, all of those people are super wealthy and belong to the top 0.001% of people, but they do practice the same wealth building principles. I mean, the chances of you seeing Mark Zuckerberg with a diamond necklace, pulling up in a $400,000 Lamborghini and a $20,000 shirt on are probably slim to none. In addition to businesses, they all have other assets as well, either inside their business or personally, such as real estate, stocks, or other ownership stakes. So even though we may not always like the super rich, you can learn a lot by just looking at what they do. Now, coming up next, Sherman has a great video breaking down the fastest ways to generate wealth. So if you haven't checked that out already, make sure you do. It's packed with a lot of great data and fun facts that I think you really would enjoy. And I'll see you over there.